This is the Ninja Luxe Cafe Premier. Really excited to have this machine. I just upgraded from a generic coffee pod machine. Never made espresso before this, so I wanted something very beginner friendly. And I've had my eyes on the Breville Barista Express for quite some time. However, a huge requirement for me was being able to make drip coffee. And when I saw that this one could do drip coffee, I was immediately sold. So getting into the unboxing here, we've got some literature on top. I will flip through those in just a moment, but it's your instruction manual and some inspiration guides. That's our starter kit, and here is the machine. It's super solid construction, lots of steel. There is some plastic, but the plastic does feel really well manufactured. This box has got our milk frothing pitcher inside, and now we're going to get into opening up the starter kits. On top, you're going to find the cleaning kit, our portafilter, which has the double basket. That's our tamper, and the Luxe basket, along with a filter. Inside the cleaning kit, you've got a couple water hardness tests, some cleaning tabs, descaling powder, this cleaning brush, and a rubber disc which holds those cleaning tabs. Flipping through a little inspiration guide here. Awesome to check out, lots of different drink ideas, and a quick start guide here so we can get into assembling the machine and pulling our first shot. Of course, Ninja quality assured. I'm setting up the machine for the first time. Just kind of putting everything together, portafilter, tamper, milk frother, funnel. Really cool that funnel and tamper go on the side there. There's little slots for them to hang out in. And there's a hidden compartment on the right to hold whichever basket you're not using the cleaning brush and the rubber cleaning disc. So just plugged it in, turning it on for the first time. It wants you to adjust your water hardness settings. So use those strips that it came with, and it'll tell you what your water hardness is, and you can adjust the machine accordingly. That back reservoir holds about 37 ounces of water, and the bean hopper holds about 12 ounces of beans. Now, before we pull our first shot, the quick start guide says we need to run a clean cycle through it, which is about 12 ounces of hot water. And now we are ready to pull our first shot. So I'm gonna pull out the portafilter and the funnel on the left side of the machine. Click those together. And insert it into the grinder. The grinder actually has a built-in scale, which is super cool. So once you insert the portafilter, it will zero itself out. And then you press the button to start grinding. And that's why we've got the funnel. You could see it was overflowing a bit. We tamped it, put the cup up, and started the shot. This first one came out pretty rough. Hardly any crema on top, as you can see. But that's okay, that's expected. The machine has something called the Barista Assist technology, so every time you pull a shot or grind beans, it's going to calibrate, and so the next time you pull a shot or grind beans, it should be a little bit better. The quick start guide asks for us to run 3 shots of espresso through before even drinking it. So we're on our second shot now, repeating all the same steps. Portafilter, grinder, and pull a shot. This one's already looking a little bit better. A little bit more crema on top. There it is. And we're adjusting our grind setting there per the machine's recommendation. And now grinding up our third shot, tamping it. And pulling the third shot. That's the most crema we've seen. Seems like the machine might be ready for some action. So showing off the machine from left to right, got our power button. Over here on the far left is where you keep your tamper. It's really heavy duty, spring loaded, and the funnel is kept right above that. Solid plastic construction. This little dial is for adjusting your grind size. Goes from 1 to 25. 25 being super coarse and 1 being super fine. You've got your bean hopper up here. It's got a rubber gasket around the top to keep your beans as fresh as possible, and you can remove the entire hopper to clean it. This little button that pops up, when it's fully popped up, you know that your drip tray is full of water or coffee. It's time to dump it out. Here's our portafilter. And that's how the funnel goes on top, and then you insert it right there. So there's your start grind button. Once you've inserted the portafilter with its funnel, you can press that and it'll start grinding. Power button just below. And as soon as you turn on the power, you can see that it tears out the scale. This button right here, it's unlabeled right now, but it's to adjust your heat setting. There's 3 different settings: low, medium, and high, depending on what type of bean or roast you're using. There's your D scale, runs a bunch of water and chemicals through the machine to clean it out. And when you're ready to start a brew, this middle button can be pressed in, but you can also twist the button to change what you're going to be brewing. So when you twist it, it also adjusts your grind setting and how much coffee is going to be pushed out of the grinder. So you want to twist it before grinding your beans. As you can see, when I switch over to the right side there, it has 4 different options: coffee, rich, over ice, and cold brew. And then on the bottom is the size of the drink you're going to be making, so that's how much water it's going to dispense through the beans. Classic is your classic drip coffee, whereas rich is going to be a bit stronger of a brew drip coffee. And you've got over ice and cold brew. Been really enjoying the cold brew function of this machine. Far cheaper than getting the venti drinks at Starbucks. I can just pour out a 18-ounce cold brew. And that button is how you adjust the sizing of your drink. Your milk selector, so you can either use dairy or plant-based milk. The clean button is for those cleaning tabs I showed you earlier. And then this is your froth selector, so you can go from basically no froth at all to a medium amount or a lot of foam, or a cold froth, which puts no heat into the milk, just spins it fast. On the right, you've got your hidden compartment for the various baskets, brush, and the cleaning tab holder. Water reservoir in the back. Again, holds about 37 ounces. This top tray is heated when the machine is on, so keeps your cups warm. And let's run through making a couple drinks. So first one, this is the first time I've ever made an espresso martini, and it was a lot of fun to make. It was one of the best ones I've ever tasted, and I made it, so that's very exciting. Overall, this has been a very fun machine to use, and I really recommend it if you are a beginner, or if you just want a machine that is almost completely automatic. It really holds your hand through making various types of drinks, helping you adjust your grind settings, and getting that near perfect shot, cafe quality pull. Overall, I've been very happy with the quality of drinks that have been coming out, and the experience of using the machine has been a lot of fun. I think at its price point, $500 at the time of this video is a very fair price compared to everything else that's on the market, especially looking at the Breville Barista Express at almost $700 right now, I think. This machine is a good deal compared to that, and is backed by a quality brand name. Give it a good shake. And let's see. Pours out beautifully. It looks like a shot of espresso when it pours out. You've got body, heart, crema. Next up, I'm going to brew some drip coffee. The espresso drinks are a ton of fun, but drip coffee is my go-to. It's simple and nostalgic in the mornings for me. Again, it's the main driver of what led me to buy this machine, is the fact that it could do drip coffee without having to make an Americano. So when it does drip coffee, it grinds the beans super coarse. It is on its coarsest setting. I'll say my complaint with the drip coffee coming out of this machine is that it takes a lot longer than a pod machine. Those pod machines, I got very used to having coffee in 30 to 60 seconds. This takes about 3.5 minutes to brew a cup of drip coffee, which ultimately totally fine, just very different from what I'm used to. Comes out beautifully, great color, it tastes great, tastes fresh. Very happy with the results. Been making so many drinks, I've got to add some more beans. Up next has been my favorite part about this machine. We're going to be putting in the Luxe basket for this one, just as we did for the black coffee, but this is going to be some rapid cold brew. So again, a very coarse grind setting. And we're going to remove the drip tray for this because I'm going to use a real tall glass. This is akin to one of those venti drinks at Starbucks, but far cheaper to make it at home. Gotta save some money after spending $500 on a coffee machine. What's great about the cold brew setting is that you can froth your milk simultaneously. This rapid cold brew takes about 3.5-4 minutes to make. I think I'm making a 14 or 18 ounce glass here. So it fills up the reservoir, lets it brew, releases the water, and repeats until it's gone through whatever size setting you're using. So here we are making some cold foam. I'm using about 50% whole milk and 50% creamer. And look how thick it is, the way it just pours on top. It's absolutely gorgeous, super tasty. A lot of fun to make. And here it is in the bigger cup, the more Starbucks venti sized. Alright, I'm getting absolutely wired on all this coffee, so we're going to make one more drink for the day. This is my favorite coffee drink. It is the flat white. So we're going to be using the double basket. Tamping it. Again, I've just been tamping it with my hands like that so I don't dent up the counters. Tamps beautifully. So much fun to make. This is my flat white mug. Going to use about 5 ounces of whole milk and start the froth. Poured a nice crema, good shot of espresso. Get those bubbles out and make some beautiful latte art. There you go.